So this year's Hayley Van Lith Award for the player who has messed up their draft stock so badly by a transfer is South Carolina. I don't know if the Hayley Van Lith Award is the worst transfer for them or the you should have just stayed award or the you were in a perfect situation award. And it's one of those weird things where it's like, what exactly as players are you looking for? Are you looking to make a Final Four and fall from number 2 to 12? Or are you looking to be the second pick, one of the most popular players in college basketball, leading scorer in the nation again, and being seen as this player who has an ability to carry a franchise? And that's one of those funny things. People are like, oh, her draft stock would have fallen if she stayed at FSU. Why? If you are drafting high in the draft, you are looking for a player to carry your franchise. You are not looking for a player who can be a shitty role player on the bench. No offense. Taniya Latson is somebody who, coming into this year, was the leading scorer in college basketball. Like, on the year, her counting stats don't look that bad. 15.4 points, 3.2 assists, 3.8 or 3.2 rebounds, 3.2 assists, and she's shooting her highest percentage in college. Like, I don't think you understand that Taniya Latson is shooting 50% because she gets like 8 points a game off wide open fast break layups. She just runs. Her team gets steals. She plays with Raven Johnson and runs. When it matters in big games, she's standing in that corner while Raven Johnson's going ISO. South Carolina is where flare guards go to die. I'm not saying it's where guards go to die, because you can absolutely succeed as a guard in South Carolina. Tessa Johnson's a prime example. What you can't succeed is as a flare, speed demon, like player that needs space around them, because South Carolina will never have space because they don't seem to believe in shooting. They believe that it is 2000 and again, don't say he's the best version of a coach from 2006, from when she played. She's the best version of that. If you're a big in South Carolina, absolutely. But if you're a guard, you're expected to feed the bigs and that's it. You expect to feed bigs. You expect to just give the ball to Joyce Edwards. That's your job. And stand in that corner and watch Raven Johnson go ISO. It is one of those things where if you're watching South Carolina play, it's evident that this is not the player that played at FSU. And people are like, oh, FSU were terrible. It's like, man, FSU literally beat Notre Dame last year. They weren't this spectacular team. They weren't. They were a damn good one, though. Do I think South Carolina beat Vanderbilt in a couple of days to have them lose a game? Yeah, I do. But we've seen South Carolina now lose to Oklahoma. We've seen them lose to, Texas. And the funniest thing about all of this is that when this is all being said and done, they needed Taniya Latson. They needed FSU Taniya Latson. Oklahoma won that game yesterday because they had a player that was willing to just say, fuck this, I'm not losing, in Aaliyah Chavez. They had a player who was willing to lose that game for the opportunity to win. And they won. They had a player who was willing to take the game by the scruff of the neck and not look to fit into a system and just take it on. And people are like, oh, and like this is the dumbass shit that like WNBA people are saying. Like, first of all, if Latson won't even attempt something like this anymore. This is the shot she hit to beat North Carolina last year, who again were a highly ranked team. Like double clutch layup off a pump fake, getting two of them up in the air. Like Latson, if you look again at some of Latson stuff, against like teams expected to make the tournament, she has an effective field goal percentage of 38. She shoots 20% at the rim in the half court. She shoots 21% from three. Against garbage teams, she shoots 46% from three on catch and shoots, shoots 30% on pull-ups, and shoots 50% at the rim, and 63% field goal percentage. She's been garbage. And people are like, oh, look at her stats. She's having her most efficient season ever. It's like, watch her play against good teams. She's been garbage. She's been garbage. It's so funny. Scoring a lot of points doesn't make you a great player. It's why high-usage, ball-dominant, inefficient guards often don't translate to W. Teams put huge offensive load on one player and inflating their numbers when it's actually hurting their development. Latson, I was like, no. Like, you know your role. Like, if you are a scoring guard, You are a scoring guard. That is what you do. Like, if you don't go from being a scoring guard who's not a lights out shooter. If you want to be a scoring guard and you want to transition to being a glue guy, you're not doing that at 5'8". You're just not. It's like telling Lou Williams that, Lou Williams isn't a good example, who is like a super fast bench guard in the NBA that's not really that much of a shooter. I'm not sure. But it's like telling Kennedy Carter, go stand in that corner. No, you don't. Like, that's what she does. That's her game. And you don't get away from that, because, no offense to Taniya Latson, she's really shit at it. She's really shit at it, and she's not getting better. You're not going to, you might learn, if you look at anything, the only WNBA guard, I mean this, like, legitimate starting caliber guard, not even a starting guard, she came off the bench last year, that Dawn Staley's ever developed is Ty Harris. Don't tell me Alicia Gray, she played 1 year under Staley. Don't tell me Tahina Pau, she played 3 years at Syracuse. Not Syracuse, was it Syracuse? No, it wasn't Syracuse. Where did Tahina Pau play? She played Oregon? I'm blanking on this. I know Tahina Pau was a transfer in her junior season. I have just completely blanked on where she came from. No, it was because Thing came from Syracuse. She went to Oregon. Cardoso came from Syracuse. But, like, Staley develops bigs. Staley does not develop guards. Zaya Cook was meant to be good. Taniya Rivers, by the way. Taniya Rivers was the number 2 player in the nation. Staley didn't like her, left. And is now, like, was all rookie team, I think. And then, obviously, Raven Johnson, in the same class as Taniya Rivers, was considered to be the better prospect. And what's going to happen to Raven Johnson? I think she's a first rounder as a super senior, but she had to become a super senior because last year she went from being in first rounds to expected to maybe not even be drafted if she went into the draft. In a draft where, like, Yvonne Ejim was taken. People were talking about her being a third rounder. But it's funny being like, she should have stayed at FSU. She ruined her draft stock in an attempt to play for a contender. She was cooking in her weak conference, luckily. It's not even a weak... The ACC is not even a weak conference. That's the funny thing, is that she was cooking everybody. It didn't matter who she was playing. She was cooking everybody. Like, and that's the thing where it's like, people just think that you have to go to Staley, you have to go play for Gino. It depends on the type of player you are. I mean this when I say this. UConn did not help Paige Bueckers. Paige Bueckers was... Like, her best year in college was her freshman season. UConn did not help Paige Bueckers. We're seeing it now, especially in that rookie season. The passiveness, the reluctance, the over-focusing on efficiency. Yes, UConn helped her off-ball movement exceptionally well. But, like, to say that had Paige Bueckers... Like, had Paige Bueckers done a Caitlin and said... Because Minnesota are bad, and said, I'm staying at home, I'm going to Minnesota. I mean this when I say this. Minnesota versus Iowa could have been like a Final Four. And that could have been like that is the level Paige Bueckers is as a player. She didn't need UConn. Taniya Latson doesn't need South Carolina. If you are a big or you are a player that hopes to be a role player, yeah, sure, go to one of these. Unless you are Sarah Strong. And Sarah Strong is good anywhere. Like, the players that UConn produce that are elite WNBA players are top recruits that would have been good anywhere. South Carolina, in fairness, they get the best bigs in the country. These are players that would be good anywhere. Like, if you want places that are actually, like, there are colleges that develop players. They don't take the best players and just, in a lot of situations, make them worse or make them less ready for the pros. And to say that if Taniya Latson wants her role to be, I want to stand in the corner and shoot really badly and be a mediocre defender and forget how to score in the half court and just be an all-around below-average WNBA player who lasts 2 years in the league and leave. And maybe I fit in a little bit better, then going to South Carolina, cool. If Taniya Latson wanted to be a top 3 pick, a dynamic guard, have a worst-case scenario, an expansion team, an expansion team taking you and saying, you We are running through you. You are the dynamic guard that we are running through. And I still think that might happen. And building around her, we are building around you. If she's at FSU, she does not fall past the expansion teams. Because worst case scenario, she is that big name for the expansion teams to get their fans excited. But now, Taniya Latson's name, her flair, everything, she's just become another player. And by the way, when it matters, she's become a bad player. She has been bad when it matters. She's been good against garbage teams. She's becoming bad. Why? Because she is a player very suited for one role. And she's being asked to be doing other things that she's not very good at. It's not her fault. It's her. The problem she made was going to South Carolina. As a basketball player, I still rate Latson. I hope she falls to the fever at 10. I don't care. Don't care about fit. You're taking her at 10. Worst case scenario, you go and she has a couple of 15-point games off the bench, and if you don't want to keep her, you trade her. Worst case scenario. But no, if she falls to 10, you are taking her. If I'm an expansion team and she's there at 6 or 7, and she's there, is it 6 or 7? If she's there for you as an expansion team, whatever you do not let her drop. If you're Golden State, you don't not take her. If you are Washington, you better fucking take her at 9. Is it Washington at 9? I think Washington at 9. Like, you got rid of Sykes, cool. Imagine getting a younger Sykes. Like, I'm still seeing her being mocked in some drafts. Down at 9, 10. I've seen people mock her at like 14. But it's funny, in a year when Yarden Garzone might fall into the 3rd round based on how bad she's been at Maryland, that Sarah Williams has gone from being projected at like 6, 7, 8 in the draft to, if Sarah Williams is a 1st round pick, the world's gone mad. And still, the winner of the Hailey Van Lith, you fucked up your draft stock by a transfer, is Taniya Latson. Unless, you never know, she could turn it around, but the way she's playing and the style she has to play, it's not even her fault. It's just not going to happen. Dawn Staley is where flare guards go to die.